Hi Aries, this is your horoscope for November 2023. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to have a look at the key things that are happening in November. Excuse me. How they're going to affect you specifically as an Aries so that you get an idea of where the pluses are and where some of the potential pitfalls are so you can have the best time possible. Okay, so the first thing that's significant in November is that on the 4th of November, we have Saturn, the planet of structure and security, that goes direct. So when a planet is in retrograde, it appears to go backwards, and we get the influence of that planet kind of internally. So with Saturn being in retrograde for the last few months, there may have been a sense of inner kind of settledness, and I know what I want, and I'm going to build something solid. Or even it could be the desire to have security in your life. With that going direct on the 4th of November, your focus becomes more external, and it's kind of like, how can I engage with the real world in order to create security in my own life? So that's actually really helpful. In your case, Aries, we've got Saturn in Pisces at 0 degrees, and that's in your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. So that's a nice thing because it means that I feel content in myself. And that kind of peace and sense of ease and anything is possible then spills over into your actual experience. So it's super helpful in helping you get things done. On the 8th of November, we've got something really nice happening. We've got Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity. That goes into Libra and it rules the sign of Libra. So Venus in Libra is very diplomatic and charming and creative and able to connect. I think that's the key word here. It's a connector. And with Venus doing the connecting, it's a positive relationship. And for you guys, that's in your 7th house of relationships. When Venus changes into Libra, she hops from the 6th house of work into the 7th house of relationship. So from the 8th of November onwards, for you guys, it looks really good in terms of relationships, because you're compromising and you put your best foot forward and you're able to connect in a really positive way. Then 2 days later, on the 10th of November, we've got Mercury, the communication planet, that goes into Sagittarius. I'm just looking for Mercury. There we go. Yes, 10th of November into Sagittarius, and it goes from your 8th house of institutions and connections with other people into your 9th house of travel and expansion and kind of broadening your horizons and really fundamentally going on adventures, right? So with Mercury now going into your 9th, it's really optimistic. It means that I'm kind of enthusiastic about new opportunities. I want to learn something new. You know, we all have rhythms in life, right? And sometimes you're going to feel open and like interested and motivated by things. And other times, I don't know if I'm just speaking for myself, but you may not care less and you just want to isolate or like make things smaller. So with Mercury, the way you think and your perspective and communication going into Sagittarius in the 9th, it's really, it's not even I want to learn, I'm excited about the future, but it's a pleasure to go for it. It's a pleasure to step outside of my comfort zone. It's a pleasure to do something new. So it really opens up your life. And then if you combine Venus and Libra with that in your 7th house, it's really, I want to travel, I want to explore, and I want to do that with other people, and I want to explore other people and see who and what is out there for me. So the beginning of the month here for you guys, it's really positive. It's like, I feel settled. I'm focused on connecting with things that are positive and beautiful and that make me feel good. And then I want to make my life bigger and I want to expand it. So it's really unlikely that you as an Aries, and whether you're a sun sign Aries or rising Aries or moon in Aries, it's really unlikely that you're going to be bored here at the beginning of the month. There'll be lots of opportunities to do things. You'll be interested in all of those. And what I mean by that, you'll be interested in all of those, is you have the motivation and things really hook you in a positive way. On the 13th of November, we have a new moon in Scorpio, and that's also in your 8th house of death and institutions and other people and kind of groups that are bigger than the self. It's the self in connection with some sort of structured group, a temple, a government, the education system. So the sun, your head, the moon, your heart, in Scorpio, they're both really looking for intense connections, or they create intense connections. It's on the axis of Scorpio and Taurus, and that axis is very much about control. Scorpio is about emotional control. Taurus is about control of the physical world and how you kind of make it look or appear or the way it feels, right? So it opposes everything between your second house of money and physical belongings and your eighth house of groups and institutions. And the feeling I get from this, Aries, is that now that we're getting to the middle of the month here, the 13th, you may have a sense of insecurity when it comes to your position in some sort of big company or group. You may want to get ahead of that and try and control the situation to try and influence the perception of you. And it's really like a dynamic and a whole area that you can kind of wander into, and I think it's best to be avoided. I think the best way to use the new moon in Scorpio for you guys is to go within and to say, what do I care about at the moment? How do I want to progress? And then to actually make plans for the future instead of bothering with where am I standing with other people. Okay, so then we've got things trucking along in that sense. We've got Jupiter, the lucky planet, and Uranus and Taurus in your second house of money the whole time. So big things can happen when it comes to your income and when it comes to your work. Oh, and what I missed is that Taurus and Scorpio, it allows you to really take charge of the situation and to do things like I want to change jobs and I want to interview for new things, or I want to set up my own business. You really have control over all of that. So if you need to make any changes, go for it. Remember, Venus is in Libra in your 7th house. So when it comes to meeting new people and kind of getting on good terms with people, you find that very easy. So it actually is a good time to interview and to make changes. So that then continues pretty much until the 4th of November. So from the 13th until the 24th, that 11-day period, if there are things in your practical circumstances which you're not particularly satisfied with or that you want to change, look at those. You have a lot of control there. On the 24th, then, we have Mars going into Sagittarius, also in your 9th, so it joins Mercury, the communication planet, and Mars is about your desire and your drive and what you want, right? In Sagittarius, it's really fired up, so the red planet is in a fire sign, and it's really, I want to be footloose and carefree, and I want to gallop through the world and like experience things. I want to go on a trip. I want to learn new things. I want to get what I want. I want something fun. So if there's anything that you've got planned that's a little bit, that makes you a little bit nervous or that's super exciting or something you're looking forward to, try and put it in for the end of November. You'll really have a good time and you can really give your all and you can really let loose and kind of just have fun. Yeah. On the 27th of November, we have a full moon in Gemini, and that also, when I first saw that, I also thought, wow, that's really fun and positive. Because the full moon is when the moon kind of lets go of all its energy. It's a celebration in itself. It's like the moon is like, I've done something here. I've gone through my 28-day cycle, and now I've reached this completion point, so let's party and let's go, right? And Gemini is really, I've always feel, is really optimistic. It's ruled by Mercury, the communication planet. So, I mean, it says it in the word. It can be somewhat mercurial in terms of the moods and stuff. But Gemini is really about communicating and finding solutions, and it's positive and it's fun and it's interesting. So, you know, it's like hanging out with people and just talking and telling funny stories. It's in your 3rd house of communication. So again, it adds to your charm and your ability to kind of express yourself. So if you want to kind of come out of your shell a little bit, November is amazing for it. I'll make a separate video on the new and full moons. If you want more details, I'll go into those. On the 27th of November, also, we have something significant happening. We have Venus in Libra, opposing, wait, hang on, did I get that right? No. We have Venus in Libra in your 7th house, and it opposes Chiron in Aries in your 1st house of self. So there's a sense of, if I connect in relationships, there's the opportunity really for me to heal. And then we have that full moon in Gemini, so there's a sense of course I can find a solution, of course I can find another way forward and through. So that's really positive. But also, we have a grand cross in the chart. A grand cross is a big red square made up of 4 squares, and it's an area of real friction. And it connects the sun and the moon, and then also Black Moon Lilith and Saturn. So it's particularly interesting in the sense of I have this inner sense of comfort, right, which has given me a sense of ease throughout the whole month. But now I want to really be critical about my working life, my circumstances, my way of living. And if that doesn't kind of meet my own standards, I want to find a productive way through. I want to make changes. So Aries, I really love this month for you. It's kind of like spring in the middle of the fall here, where I mean, astrology is based on the northern hemisphere, so everything's pitch black in November. But for you, it's like this inner fire with all this Sagittarius. It's kind of like, how do I make things happen for myself? It's really good. So all those areas, relationships, work, travel, learning, taking charge of situations you're going to have an easy time with and you'll feel good about. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with in November. I'm super excited for you guys, Aries. I hope you have a fabulous month. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading, button that says book your reading, to audio reading with me. And check out some of my other videos, especially on the new moons, the full moons, and eclipses. When I talk about those, we had 2 eclipses in October. So we're kind of living in interesting times here, but it does look amazing for you in November. So I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful month, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.